Well, they're just both big dudes who a lot of people think will end up inside. I remember when Cam Heyward ended up at Ohio State. There's no way you're going to have like this 6'6", 275-pound dude play defensive end, and he started there as a freshman. So I think that just the size-wise, and I think 24/7's own breakdown has him listed as comparing him to Cam Heyward. So I'm not sure if that's where Yakov is getting it, but he's not the only one that has said that. And they're both big dudes that excel on the edge. We'll see if he can do it in college.
Yeah, it's a little early for me to do any comparisons. I mean, you watch his tape, but granted, he's playing Washington State competition, and obviously Ohio State has not been shy recruiting Washington State, getting G. Scott Jr. and getting Emeka Egbuka, and obviously now getting JTT. So, you can't sit there and be like, well, Ohio State's getting these studs and be like, oh, but Washington State football, that ain't no good. It's good. I mean, but, you sit there and you watch them coming off the edge and just doing all these things, and it's hard not to sit there and see him playing some end and whatnot, but you also look at the body type and you could see him playing some 3-tech. So, I think it's going to be a matter of how does he respond to a collegiate weight program? His body is going to determine a lot about what his future is going to be as well. I just don't want to see a Rob Rose situation where I'm seeing, a biscuit shy of 3 bills out there at end. That was kind of, whenever I see guys trying to slide out to the end that probably should be inside, Rob Rose is kind of the poster child for that. And, while he certainly filled out a jersey quite nicely, probably miscast a little bit there.
Jim Tressel had Jonathan Hankins play a few snaps of defensive end. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, I think JT's going to be just fine once he gets settled in. And again, I mean, you've got Zach Harrison and Tyreek Smith who figure to be the starters. Tyler Friday, Javonte Jean-Baptiste also should play. Jack Sawyer's in the rotation. Maybe Noah Potter, although he could play inside as well. And then JT Tuimoloau. So I am of the opinion he's going to get, maybe 20, 25 snaps a game to start out with and see how he does and ramp him up from there. The best players play, and Larry Johnson isn't going to hold somebody back. If they can be a difference maker, he's going to play them. So it's on him to come in and be ready to go when the time begins. So I'm interested to see how they manage this position group and if he does even get a few snaps inside this year, if that even happens. So maybe in a rush man package where they're trying to get as much speed and playmaking ability and not just plug in that middle gap, maybe in a 3rd and long situation, move him inside where he can be a disruptor coming up the middle and where there's no threat that they're going to try to run the ball over his gap and just go get the quarterback. So, who are you going to block in this scenario? It's going to be real interesting, I think.
I agree with Steve 1,000% right there. You put him inside on that rush man situation, see ball, get ball. Coming in from the inside, he's not going to have any contain responsibilities. It's just very much instinctual football at that point. I think that's somewhere that we could see him a good amount if he comes in here in July, goes through August, and really picks things up and shows that this off-season conditioning and everything he's doing doesn't have him too far behind. I think that is probably the most likely immediate path to some legitimate playing time. But I agree with Steve that he could ramp himself up to 20, 25 snaps a game pretty quickly if he responds well.
I'm going to be interested to see how quickly he is able to move past Jacoby Cowan, Darian Henry-Young, Cormonte Hamilton, those guys who are outside of the top 4 and Jack Sawyer that we don't often talk about or don't ever talk about, and see how quickly he can bypass them in practice. I don't know how many practices we'll get to see. Generally in the fall, it's absolutely nothing. Although now, like Ryan Day might try to be he's being more friendly to the media as we're coming out of the pandemic, and plus being friendly to the media helps the players able to sell their images or make themselves known better, helps their NIL. And so I wonder if there's maybe some friendliness going on that we'll be able to see more of practice this fall and watch this progression of JTT as he moves. Because I can almost guarantee that unless he does really well in the workouts, like when they're warming up in the first practice, he's going to be the last guy among the defensive ends. And he's going to be doing the last reps. And how quickly will he move his way up the depth chart each day? And for me, that would be fun to watch. I don't know that we will actually get to watch any of that, though.